Let me start by saying that this product makes no darn sense. I mean it. I really mean it. Don't buy it. There's nothing to do on it and nothing to do with it. And by the time this kind of technology makes its way into the mainstream, maybe when a company like Samsung gets serious enough about VR, as serious as they got about mobile phones, it will be completely and undoubtedly obsolete. And maybe if it wasn't a totally closed off system, maybe if I didn't feel like I had weights on my face, maybe, seriously, no, don't get this device. Now, given my initial reaction, you might feel inclined to ask why I would purchase a product such as this, a product that costs somewhere in the order of $5,000 when it's all said and done, counting AppleCare and a case for it, of course. The simple answer is this is the future. And the sooner you get on board with this or things like this as a developer, the better. Apple Vision Pro is to augmented reality computing as those heavy mobile phones from the late 80s and early 90s are to mobile computing. Consequently, having a clear understanding of the many use cases, problem domains, and applied solutions that exist in this form factor is critical in future world domination in the development and technology space. And although there are many VR and AR style products out there, I've grown to have quite a lot of confidence in Apple's ability to combine the best of breed in hardware, software, and user experience into a package that seamlessly integrates it all into something that people actually want. In this video series, we're going to explore one such scenario and build an application using the newly minted C# 13, .NET 9, and the tech giant's multi-app user interface technology. But before we get to all that, I'm going to spend this video giving you an overview of the product. We start with the uninspiring packaging, which looks massive, but really sports nothing inside it. Honestly, the box was so large I was more than sure there was a case inside there. But sadly, after spending almost $4,000 on the device, you have to shell out an additional $400 to get one of those. What you do get inside the box is a battery and charger, padding for the light shield, and 2 sets of straps. One fancy looking with a dial that can be used to fasten or loosen it, and the other much more functional and sturdy. You also get a cloth screen cover for the front screen and a bunch of paper. Oh, and lest I forget, there's a screen cleaner. Yay. The device itself comes with really serviceable speakers built into the audio strap that direct sound into each ear. A cloth light shield, the default one, connects your face to the actual nuts and bolts of the device. On the device itself, you find a plethora of cameras and other assorted sensors in the front of it, and also underneath. There's a digital crown and a button on top, and the whole front face, this black area here, actually has a screen somewhere in there that will show animations like a light show for people who are, I guess, looking at you. So it doesn't just look like you're staring into nothingness. In the commercials, I remember them being able to see eyes, some kind of fake projected eyes, so it would look like it's your eyes, so it'd be a little bit more engaging. I don't know if they still do that. I haven't noticed it, quite frankly. Unlike other devices in its class, this one doesn't seem to come with batteries built in, so you have to lug around the battery everywhere you go. It remains to be seen if this battery in the pocket approach will win the day. It might seem crazy to some, but I can tell you I never thought I would see the day that hardware keys would leave mobile phones. If there's a company that can reimagine form factors and effectively market a new way of doing things, my bet is on Apple. To turn on the device, you connect the detached battery to it using a special little cable that you turn clockwise or counterclockwise or something or the other to actually get it in. I've been having trouble doing it. I haven't quite figured out how to do it, but I really haven't looked at all the instructions yet. And that's honestly a credit to Apple that I haven't had to. With it on, you can actually put it on, tighten it, and follow the instructions on the screen. Full disclosure, I must say that for all the talk of price point and uselessness, with this device on my face and interface up and running, the experience is as close to worth its weight in gold as almost anything Apple has done, including the iPhone. From my perspective, having tried the Oculuses and MetaQuests and Windows VRs and HoloLenses and even the VR headsets built into Samsung phones, this is as impactful an experience as getting your first iPhone when coming from a Palm Pilot or Motorola or all the players from our digital antiquity. It honestly doesn't have as many things to do and didn't seem to really play nice with VR content on the web or from other sources. But what it does do will literally blow your mind, figuratively. There was an 18-minute free movie on Apple TV I watched called Submerged that gave me a true introduction to the future of cinema. I meditated in Joshua Tree for an hour. I connected it to my Mac and gave myself a 40-inch display. And in those moments, I realized that the cost was absolutely worth every penny, the same way that I imagine a Ferrari being worth its cost. Unlike a Ferrari, which most would agree is a frivolous cost, once you put this on as a developer, you immediately see where the technology is ultimately going and gain full grasp of its utility. The interface is simple enough. If you've used an Apple product, you will have some familiarity with the layout. The same app grid format that you might find on your Apple Watch serves as a central hub, this time floating in air in a pane of glass that I hesitated to walk through on multiple occasions because of how truly solid it felt where it rested. To select things, you tap your index finger to your thumb. A quick tap is a click, pressing and holding drags the item. Open apps can be placed anywhere in your virtual space, anywhere. You can interact with them by first looking at them to give them focus, and then beneath each element is a close button and a solid white bar that you can use to drag it around and place it wherever you need. In standard mode, things are pinned where you leave them. So walking around a few rooms in my home, I will come up on items I had pinned there. To take the Vision Pro on a walk with you or on a trip on a train or a plane, all you need to do is put it in travel mode. Believe it or not, that's it. With the latest update, a few more gestures have been added so you don't have to keep tapping on the digital crown to go home. You sort of have a little hand flip thing that can quickly take you back home or can quickly take you to the action center. But the interface and the way to interact with it has been kept very, very clean, very, very simple, reminiscent of how clean and simple the iPhone was and the iPhone apps were compared to how apps were being built at that time. So, my final thoughts on the Vision Pro. Well, put simply, it's the best commercially available VR platform I've used. Far more realistic visuals, far more intuitive navigation. And honestly, beside this battery pack, which I delayed judgment on till I see how the masses react, I believe it's a well thought out experience. The problem is that unfortunately, when it comes to that insane price point, the juice to me is just not worth the squeeze. At 2K, this product would be flying off the shelves, I believe. But at that 4K range where you're still paying for Apple Care, that's another $400. You have to pay for a case for it. That puts it square in the realm of R&D device for software developers such as myself, organizations buying it, for some kind of platform that they're developing. But even then, it still ultimately starts with software development companies that actually build the products that we're selling to these organizations, or maybe departments inside the organization that want to experiment on using it. That's where you're going to see this product. We've seen this before with the Microsoft HoloLens. Again, a very expensive device, not something that really was attainable to just regular consumers. So something that was out of this world price wise. And just like that, I pretty much only saw that when I would go to a company, and they'd have it on display, or they'd have built some kind of proof of concept that they were trying to market and sell to companies. So that's why I see this until the price goes down. Very rich people, of course, can afford anything, so they'll buy it. But for the common man, the regular person, it's just 2K, around that 2K range, the same price as maybe a little bit cheaper than their MacBooks, their expensive MacBooks. Makes sense when you're paying twice the cost of a MacBook. That's like you're or paying the cost of one of the fully loaded MacBooks. That's just that's just priced way out of where it needs to be. But we got this here. We're going to open it up figuratively from a software perspective, build an application, a proof of concept, showcase some of the ways that software can be used to enhance and empower uh, users when they have a product like this behind them. Again, VR is the future. VR is coming. VR is here. VR is not going anywhere. So if you're a .NET developer, fire up your .NET MAUI, fire up your C Sharp, and start building applications that target VR platforms. Till we see you again, salute.